It is nice to see you again, class. It is Miss D, of course. Last class you debated economic development and industry, and I'm sure that you made the right choice. The topic for this class is resource extraction. Keep on filling out those worksheets as you listen. Your instructor for today is Karen Kormos, one of the development officers for Parklandia.
Hello, I'm Karen. I'm a development officer for Parklandia. Today I will be teaching you about natural resource extraction, specifically the extraction of aggregate. So what is aggregate? Aggregate is the word used to describe sand, rocks, gravel, crushed stone, and shale. Basically, any rock product that is mined out of the ground is aggregate. Aggregates are a precious, non-renewable resource, much like oil and natural gas. It is usually found where there is or were rivers, lakes, and glaciers. It is found under layers of the earth known as topsoil and subsoil, which is sometimes referred to as the overburden. Extraction is the process of locating and acquiring the aggregate. Aggregate extraction involves any activity that removes the aggregate from nature. In some cases, explosives are used, but here in Parklandia, it is dug out of the ground. To extract the aggregate, the topsoil and subsoil is removed and stockpiled. It is important that the topsoil and subsoil are kept separate from each other so that it can be used to reclaim the land after the aggregate is removed. Once the aggregate is uncovered and removed from the ground, it goes to the processing plant by truck or conveyor. There, the aggregate is washed to remove unwanted clay and to separate the sand from the gravel. The aggregate then passes over a series of screens that sift the materials into different sizes. After the aggregate is screened, it is stored in stockpiles according to the size. At this point, it is ready to sell. After the aggregate has been completely removed, the reclamation process takes place to return the land back to its original or previous condition. First, the subsoil is put back in place. Then the topsoil is replaced. The land can now be used for other purposes. Reclaimed aggregate pits have been redeveloped into farmland, golf courses, small lakes, and parks. Aggregate extraction is very important to a community because it provides employment to residents. It is also important for road construction and maintenance. Parklandia maintains 2,137 kilometers of road, which require sand and gravel. It would be very costly to bring the aggregate in from other municipalities. Aggregate is used in many different ways. Sand is used at the neighborhood playgrounds, on golf courses, and your local baseball diamonds and bike trails. Aggregate was used to construct the basement of your home, your driveway, sidewalks, and patios. Sand and other aggregate is spread on slippery roads in winter to make them safer. Aggregates were used to build your school, your community center, and most other buildings. You drive, bike, or walk to and from school on thousands of tons of aggregate every day. Though aggregate extraction is important to a community, it often causes conflicts with the nearby residents. The noise from screening, crushing, and backup beepers of trucks can often be heard by neighbors, which creates conflict. There are often environmental concerns that need to be addressed before extraction of the aggregate can happen. The removal of trees has to be done when the birds are no longer nesting, and they have to exercise caution if they are going to encounter water during extraction. So did you know a typical family house uses about 160 tons of gravel? That's about 12 truckloads. You'll find it beneath the basement floor as drainage rock around the foundation to prevent flooding, in the concrete walls, steps, sidewalk, patio blocks, and the driveway. Even your home's windows and stucco siding are made from sand. In 1 year, Alberta uses enough aggregate to build a wall around the entire province. That's 3,990 kilometers. The wall would measure 3.8 meters high by 1 meter thick. On average, every Albertan uses 10 to 14 tons of aggregate each year. That's 1 full truckload. Aggregate mining is necessary but temporary use of land.
Wonderful information, Karen. Well, resource extraction specialists, it's time to hear about the latest conflict within Parklandia. Parklandia will need to decide whether or not to allow resource extraction within the gravel-rich area by the Lazy River. Option 1 means that no one will be able to extract this aggregate resource and it will remain as it is. Option 2 means that all of the gravel may be removed from the area. However, these lands will have to be reclaimed to their natural state after the gravel is removed. You will be hearing from 4 stakeholders: the gravel extraction business owner, the vice president of the Lazy River Association, one of the Lazy River tubers, and a highway developer. I'll bet that they have some good arguments to back up their preferences.
Hi-ho there! I'm the owner of a gravel extraction business. I would like to extract gravel within Parklandia because if I can't, I will have to take my business elsewhere. As a legitimate business, I am required to follow the regulations set out by Environment Canada. This means that I will only have a minimal impact on the environment, and after 5 years, I will be required to reclaim the area. In addition to reclaiming it, I am willing to actually improve the area with picnic tables for the river users. I hope that option 1 is not chosen because I will not be able to make any money and Parklandia will lose out on potential taxes.
Hi everyone, I am the Vice President of the Lazy River Association. I prefer option 2 so that there will be no gravel extraction within Parklandia. This option is superior because the riverbed will remain in its natural state for both the animals and the river users to enjoy. If Parklandia were to allow extraction in this area, it will destroy the natural shores that have been used as a picnic spot for decades.
Hey, how's it going? I am one of the Lazy River tubers. I prefer option 1 because if there is no gravel extraction, I will have the perfect float down the river. Plus, I always stop for a picnic on the beautiful scenic shores there. I would not be able to do that if they were extracting gravel. Option 2 would destroy my whole tubing experience. I sure hope they don't let it happen.
Hi gang, I'm a developer in Parklandia. I would like there to be gravel extraction within Parklandia because I need that gravel for concrete, roads, and for landscaping. If gravel extraction is not allowed in Parklandia, I'll have to pay a lot more to bring gravel in from somewhere else. I may even have to lay off some of my Parklandia employees to save costs. Plus, option 1 really doesn't support the local businesses of Parklandia, which are a very important part of the community.
Wow, these stakeholders sure are passionate. All right, everyone, now that you have heard from the community, let's split up into our groups. Group 1, today you are defending option 2. Group 2, today you are mayor and council. Group 3, today you are defending option 1. Ensure that you are polite when listening and responding to arguments. Remember that this is a democratic process where the community comes first. I will be back one more time for our Parks and Recreation class. Have a wonderful debate, everyone.